Hi, my name is Jim Ave, and I am the professor for ATR 792A, Practicum in Athletic Training 1. I want to welcome you to Fresno Pacific University and to our Masters of Arts in Athletic Training. Hope that we have a great semester together. We will actually have several classes together in the fall semester, so we'll get to know each other pretty well. I have a couple videos this week where I'll provide some overview of some things. In this particular presentation, I'll go over like a big picture of what this class is about and what we'll do in this semester. And in the other presentation, I'll talk about a specific section within your professional portfolio assignment. So if you're watching this video, hopefully you've downloaded the syllabus as indicated in our class in Moodle. That's all I'm going to go over in this presentation. I'll go over some other things in our next presentation. First, I like to start all our classes with a Bible verse. If you don't know, Fresno Pacific University is a Christian university, and the faculty and staff are all followers of Christ. And we take that serious. I take this very serious. I believe God has called you to attend FPU, and I'm glad that He did. And so the verse that I have for this class is from the book of Colossians, or the letter of Colossians, written by Paul. This is from the 3rd chapter in verse 17. And Paul wrote, "And whatever you do, whether in word or deed, do it all in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ, giving thanks to God the Father through Him." And I picked this particular verse because what this class is going to address is how you work as an athletic trainer. So this is the things that you do as an athletic trainer. We want to do it, or not just as an athletic trainer, in our whole life. We want to be pleasing to God because He has blessed us with life. So we want to work in a way that is pleasing to Him. So next on the syllabus is my contact information. You can see in this presentation I've blacked all that out because this video is uploaded on YouTube, and I really don't want all that information out on the old internet. So, but I have it in the syllabus that you downloaded. My office hours are, I'm on campus more than Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, but those are hours I will be on campus. Best way to contact me initially is via email, and I'm usually on my computer a lot, so I will try to respond to emails within 24 hours and maybe within an hour at times. If you want to talk on a phone, let's set up a time to talk, because I have various meetings and those type of things. Send me an email and we'll figure out a time that we can sit down and talk on the phone, or if you're local, we can meet in person in my office. So I can make sure that I'm here to help you, that not only for this class, but any class that you have, or if you have any issues with the program. Since I'm the program director, I'm your advisor. So I'm here to help, ask for help. I want to provide any kind of assistance I can to make sure that you are successful in this class and the graduate program as a whole. This is a 3-unit course, and we'll talk about later. This class is a bit different than all the other courses in the graduate program, as this is a credit, no credit course. Pass or fail, if you want to look at it that way, but I'll talk about that in just a bit. This class goes the entire semester until December 16th. So we'll be together for quite a long time in this class. And here, the course description is basically what we're going to do is in this class, and you'll take the second half of this class in the spring semester, is that the Board of Certification has provided us with standards for professional practice. You've been asked to download that document, and we're going to go through each practice standard and each code of professional responsibility, and you're going to develop a professional portfolio demonstrating how you actually satisfy those as an athletic trainer. And I'll get into that more with the other presentation. You can review the Masters of Arts Athletic Training Mission Statement, our program student learning outcomes. These are the things that you'll learn in the other class, our athletic training teaching class, the pedagogy class. These are the goals that you should meet by the time you complete our graduate program. These are the things that I've said as a program director and as a faculty in a graduate program. These are the things that you should be able to demonstrate by the time you complete your master's program. And then the student learning outcomes here are what you should be able to do by the end of this particular course. I'm not going to spend the time talking about all that, but just so you know that that's what all that stuff is, and we'll talk about that in our other athletic training class. Textbooks, the only book you had to purchase for this class is this by Gordon Smith, Courage and Calling, Embracing Your God-Given Potential, because we will have assignments on this, and I have a presentation on that next week, so I won't spend too much time on that. The BOC Board of Standards of Professional Practice, which I've provided, and the NATA Code of Ethics, which I've provided in a course folder, which if you're in the class here, it's in the course documents, folder. You click on that folder, and all this stuff's been provided here that you can download for your enjoyment. Let's go back here. And so the assignments that we have in our course, we're going to have 3 professional portfolios. Basically, these are done. We have one due every month, so we have 3 of those. This first 4 weeks of our class, I have rough drafts, and I'll talk about that when I get down to the schedule, so you can see that. You'll have 3 progress reports, and I'll talk about that. That's another presentation I'm not going to spend the time on here. You have a reflection paper, which is due at the end of the semester, which we'll have a presentation on that assignment later in our class. The Courage and Calling, Reflections and Forums. I'll have a presentation on that next week. All your assignments will be submitted in Moodle as using a Word document. If you have not already gone into the Moodle orientation class, in there I have a template to make sure that all your papers are formatted using APA, and I actually provided you a template in the course documents to be used for the professional portfolio, which is this Word document right here, which you should use. Just follow along with that. That's already been formatted in APA. You are expected to learn APA. If you haven't bought the APA manual, you should buy it. I'm pretty sure that's one of the books I told you needed to purchase for this semester. If you got any questions about that, let me know. Late work. I expect students to turn everything in on time. If it's late, you're going to have a 25% grade reduction right off the top. If something's going on in your life, please let me know what's going on in your life. We're adults. This is not high school. I expect us to be able to have a working relationship, and you can tell me if something's happening. Now, what I do not particularly enjoy is to get an email Sunday at 10:30 at night saying, "Hey, I've been busy all this week. I haven't got a chance to do anything." Well, why didn't you tell me that Tuesday that this week is going to be brutal? You know what's going on in your life. I don't. Give me a heads up on that stuff. I'm willing to work with you. Now, if it's a habitual thing, that's a different story. We're all busy. Every single one of us is busy. That busyness is not an excuse. To be successful in this graduate program, you have to put time in your daily schedule that you're working on coursework. Doesn't matter what time that is, but every single day you need to spend at least 2 to 3 hours or more on coursework in this graduate program. It needs. What are you going to do during that time? You're going to be reading, you're going to be writing, you're going to be answering forums, but you need to have dedicated time that you're in class. And you need to put in your schedule, and nothing can interrupt that time except emergencies. If you do not do that, you will not be successful in this graduate program. If you wait till Friday, Saturday, and Sundays to do your work, you will not do very well in this graduate program. I've been the program director in this program since 2005. The students who are successful do a little bit every single day in both your classes that you're taking or the classes that you're taking. Doesn't matter if it's an athletic training class or a kinesiology type class. You have to do a little bit every single day to be successful. This class, as I mentioned earlier, is a credit, no credit, or pass or fail. In order to pass this class, you must earn a grade of B or greater on the 3 professional portfolio assignments and this reflection paper assignment. That's how you pass this class. All the other point values really don't matter if you're going to pass or fail. These 3 professional portfolio assignments and reflection paper assignments are the assignments that determine if you pass or don't pass this course. Let's go to our class schedule. We'll scroll down to, this is in Appendix A. So this week, what are we doing this week? And all this stuff is very similar in the syllabus that I have inside Moodle. So this week, you need to start reading your book, Courage and Calling. You want to read Chapter 1 in there. You want to read the BOC Standards of Professional Practice. Entire document. It's pretty straightforward. It's only 2 pages, maybe 3. I want you to watch these videos that talk about these standards. And you click the link. I'm going to go back to our class here. Right here, you click this link in point 4, open up, and you'll watch these videos. Okay. Now you're watching this video, and then you're gonna watch the video below when I talk about how to do your introduction and summary sections for your professional portfolio. So, because that's due this week, you'll see that each week I have you do a rough draft of your professional portfolio, because I want you to be successful. What I've learned in years doing this class when I was back in the kinesiology area, students would not how to do each section, so I decided to start doing rough drafts for each of the sections for your professional portfolio. So you'll do your introduction and executive summary drafts for your professional portfolio, and the assigned section for your first portfolio is the BOC Code of Professional Responsibility, Patient Responsibility, sections 1.1, 1.7, which I'll go into the next other presentation, and the BOC Practice Standard 1 Direction. So that rough draft is due this Sunday by 11:55 p.m. So that's one thing you'll turn in this week. You'll watch this video so you'll get an understanding what that's about. Then you'll turn that assignment here in this link. And then I also have an extra credit form here in our class. So if you click that, you'll see that I have an extra credit assignment. You can read that, but basically I want to know how you got interested in athletic training, where you did your athletic training program, and what are some memorable experiences you had as an athletic trainer. I don't want you to attach that as a Word file. I want you to actually post it within this form by clicking this Add New Discussion Topic. give me a subject, type everything here, blah, blah, blah. Make sure that when you, since I'm here in a form, one thing you'll notice that if you try to change the font size to large, it's not going to change it. You have to highlight. You have to highlight it, hit large, and then it'll go to large. I don't know why it does that. Then I'm not going to hit post to form, but then you post it to form. I expect your forms to be written using correct grammar and spelling. I downloaded an app on my Firefox called Grammarly that helps me with my spelling and grammar. I would recommend that you use that too. So week 1, you'll listen to these videos, you do your first rough draft, and you do your extra credit assignment, and you'll need to read chapter 1 in your Courage and Calling book. So that's week 1. I'm not going to go through every week, but I'm just going to kind of give you an overview of what this class looks like. In week 2, we have Labor Day on Monday, so don't have to do anything in class, and online classes is kind of odd. Then you're going to do your rough draft for your next section in the artifact, or sorry, next section in the professional portfolio, which is about the artifact section. That's due September 11th. You also have a progress report due on September 11th, and your first Courage and Calling reflection is due on September 11th. So quite a few things due in week 2. Week 3, you'll write your next rough draft on a reflection section. You'll have your threaded discussion on the Courage and Calling, and you'll be reading chapters 2 and 3 in your Courage and Calling. Week 4, you'll actually turn in your first final professional portfolio assignment on September 25th, which should be pretty easy because you've been doing these rough drafts, and I'll give you feedback on those, and then you'll make those changes and turn in the rough drafts. So your first portfolio should be fairly easy because it should be done by then, because all the rough drafts, but it's due September 25th. And your second Courage and Calling reflections on chapters 2 and 3 are due that Sunday. Then in week 5, you'll start your next professional portfolio on Code 2 and Practice Standard 2. You'll follow the same progress. You won't have any rough drafts after this point. The whole point of doing the rough drafts in the first month is to teach you how to do this so you know how to do it for the rest of the class. And then you have your Courage and Calling threaded discussion, blah, blah, blah. So that's basically how this class is going to go for the next 3 months, as you'll work on your standards description, then the artifact section, reflection, and turn in at the end of the 4th week, or the 8th week. On this would be October 23rd, your next professional portfolio is due. Your 3rd professional portfolio is due in November 20th. And then the last half or quarter of the classes, you're going to be working on your reflection paper. So that's basically how this class operates. It's not as labor intensive as your other graduate courses are, especially your 8-week courses, or in the summer when you do 6-week courses. A couple other things to talk about, so this video is getting too long, is my expectations of you as a graduate student. This is a 3-unit course, which means you should expect to spend at least 10 to 20 hours per week doing coursework. This could be doing research, writing, reading, answering threaded discussions. As I bolded and underlined it and capitalized, which means yelling, do not wait until the last minute to develop your professional portfolio or do any other assignments, okay? Since this is a practicum class, you are expected to work at least 9 hours per week working as an athletic trainer, which shouldn't be a problem with, I don't think, anybody in this class. You'll report your hours worked in your progress report in your professional portfolios. I expect you to check your emails, your FPU email. And if you don't check your FPU email, you need to forward that email to another account where you actually check that on a daily basis, because I'll give you updates in the class both via email and in our Moodle class, which typically will happen here in the course announcements. That's where I'll post updates, and you're held accountable for that information. To forward your FBU email, there is a video inside the Moodle orientation class how to do that. And I also expect you to read and follow the assignment directions here in this syllabus. I have tried to provide very detailed information about the assignments, especially in these different appendices. I do expect you to follow those directions. Other thing, that if you have questions in class, use this Q&A forum. More than likely, if you have a question about an assignment, other students have questions too. So post your questions here in the Q&A forum, and I'll get back to you ASAP. If you start emailing me questions, I'm going to ask you, please post this in the Q&A forum, because instead of me answering a bunch of emails about the same thing, I would like you to start there at the Q&A forum, because more than likely, again, if you have questions, other students have the exact same questions. Again, but I am here to help. So if you do have those questions, please post them in the Q&A forum. And I think that'll do it for this particular video and this presentation. I look forward to our semester together and learning more about you during our time together.